morning, students. Today we are starting again our grammar class. Now I have something to inform you that CBSE has provided the syllabus of grammar, and according to that syllabus we should go ahead. We in the last classes we discussed non-finite verbs, and some of the parts of that section is left here because I am stopping that here because that part has not been included for the session 2020-21. Now what the syllabus is for class 9 as well as for class 10, the same syllabus has been given. You have to study it thoroughly. Now first go for the syllabus. So we are starting here. You can check the syllabus going to the site of the CBSE also. From there you can download the syllabus of English grammar also for class 9 and class 10. This is the syllabus. Today what we should study throughout the year for both the classes 9th and 10th. That we are writing. Try to write it down on the notebook also, so that you should keep it in mind while studying, and we should go in that proper way to finish our course within the time limit. Chapter 1 will be tenses. Chapter 2 will be model. Chapter 3 will be use of basic verbs. Use of basic verbs. Chapter 4 subject verb. Subject verb concord or agreement. Fifth chapter will be reported speech. And in this reported speech section we have to study only three parts. First one is command and request. Second one is statements, and third one is questions. These three parts of the narration or reported speech we should study it. Now, chapter 6 will be clause. In this section, we will study noun clause, adverb clause, and relative clause. Noun clause, adverb clause, and relative clause. Noun clause, adverb clause, and relative clauses will be taught to you in this chapter, chapter 6. And then chapter 7, it is determinants. And after determinant, it is preposition. After preposition, 9th is this up to this limit. There is no need to go ahead. Only this 8th part we are going to study. And for finishing it, before the time, we have to read some of the important chapters of your book. This one is the essential English grammar and composition that you should have, and this one essentials of English grammar and composition. we have started also. One chapter that we have discussed was non-finite verbs, but today we are starting from tense section. That is 3 chapters of this book include tense. The chapters are from this book. The chapters are chapter 10, chapter 10, chapter 11, chapter 12 from essentials. These 3 chapters will be discussed, and then after it you should check it. Chapter number 13, verbs models, chapter number 13. Chapter 13, what we will study in both classes, class 9 as well as for class 10. Both the classes will have same thing to study and to go through. Now chapter 13, this one is chapter 13 will be your second chapter, and then come to next page, you will find active and basic voice, that is chapter 16. This one is chapter 16, and subject verb agreement, this one is chapter 17. Subject verb agreement is this one is chapter 17, and after that direct and indirect narration, chapter 27, reported speech, this one is chapter 27 in this essential book, and after that clauses, this one is chapter 23, and after that we will check determiners, that is chapter 7. Determiners is chapter 7 in essential English grammar, essentials of English grammar and composition. This one is your 7th chapter, and after this we will go to chapter 10, preposition. This is chapter 19 in this book, chapter 19. So we will study 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 27, 23, 7 and 19. All these 10 chapters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 will finish our course according to the syllabus provided to us by the CBSE board. Okay. Now we are starting from chapter 10 of this book, Essential English Grammar and Composition. This was the course and syllabus for this year 2020-21 for both of the classes, class 9 and class 10. So I am making this video a little bit lengthy so that you can take it. We are starting from chapter 10. In this book, chapter 10 is titled Verbs Expressing the Present. Verbs Expressing the Present. It is page number 75. In this book, page number 75. Okay, so you should go to page number 75 and start today's class. Chapter 10. Verbs expressing the present. Verbs expressing the present is the chapter we are going to take. First of all, we should keep something in mind before going into this section. Here you will find be and its uses. So first of all, I would like to make you recall the facts about verbs. What are verbs? Verbs. Action words are verbs something, whatever we do, that is verb. Verb is a word that relates to the actions done by different persons or things. So here you already know about verbs. A verb is a doing word, so it refers to the actions. So there is no problem to understand verbs. And here types of verbs. First I would like to make you recall the two forms of verbs. First one is ordinary verb or main verb, you should say. Main verb. These are ordinary verbs also. And the second one is helping verbs. Helping or auxiliary. A-U-X-I-L-I-E-R-Y. Auxiliary verbs. Helping and auxiliary verbs. These two types of verbs we should keep in mind, and to know the fact that main verbs have their 5 different forms according to the need of formation, structures, different structures, tenses. Verbs change their form according to tense, according to the number of the subject. So this main verb has 5 verb forms, that we say V1, V2, V3, V4 and V5. As you know, you can take an example. For example, a regular verb is called, V2 form is called, V3 form is also called, V4 is calling, and V5 is cause. These are main verbs. Main verbs, or you should say that these verbs can be used as finite verb, because finite verbs are those verbs that change their form according to the number and person of the number and person of the subject, as well as according to the changes in the tense forms and different structures. So this is main verb. For example, 5 forms of verb to go will be go, went, gone, going, goes. You have already learned it, so there is no need to emphasize it again. Now we are going for auxiliary verbs, and there are 2 types of auxiliary verbs. There are 2 types of auxiliary verb. First is primary. Primary auxiliaries, and the second one is modal. In primary auxiliaries, there are 11 different primary auxiliaries, forms of primary. And the models, there are 13 models, and we have already studied it also. We are just recalling. In primary helping verb to be, what this book starts with here, be. The forms of be is are in present and was were in past. So verb be and its forms are am, is, are. Since we are studying the present, we are not discussing here the forms of past, that are was and were. So am, is, are means be, the form of be. So one fact is also very much important to understand and to know, that primary auxiliaries have the capability to change itself into ordinary verbs or main verbs. Primary auxiliaries have their 5 forms also. In this way, because they will turn to the main verbs, so 5 forms of verb to be will be be, was, been, being, and is. This is V1, V2, V3, V4 and V5. Be, was, been, being, is. And the plural form of was is were. Okay. So primary auxiliaries. Three primary auxiliaries are there. Base primary auxiliaries: be, verb to be, verb to have, verb to do. The have has three forms also: have, has. In present, we are taking only present, and had will be the past form of have. Have and has is verb to have. Verb to do has, do and does in the present, and did in the past form. So here the book starts with be, and the fact it says be is used in two ways: as an ordinary verb or main verb, and second, to form other tenses. When these verbs come alone without following by any other verb, that will be counted as main verb. For example, Ami is tall. In this sentence, is the form of be, is singular form, but this is used as main verb because this form B5 has been used, and after this is there is no other verb. There is an adjective, that is tall. So Amir is tall clears it that this verb is the form of main verb or ordinary verb. So is has been used here as an ordinary verb, but the same sentence and the sentence she is singing. Now in this sentence you can see that is has come before the V4 form of verb to sing, singing. So here it has come to help this main verb. So here it is used as helping verb, So the fact is that here be can be used in two ways. First one is as an ordinary verb, and the second one is that as a helping verb to form different tenses. Okay. Now, two examples in the book are Virat Kohli is a brilliant batsman. Here, Virat Kohli is a brilliant batsman. Here, verb to be, this means is, has been used alone without any other form of verbs, and it does not follow any verb. So it is not followed by any other verb, so it is as ordinary or main verb. In the second sentence, Virat Kohli is leading the test team. So here is leading. To lead is another main verb, and leading is coming here after is. So is here in the second sentence has come as an helping verb, as an auxiliary to form another tense form. Okay. Now when be is used to form other tenses, it is called an auxiliary verb. It has the same form whether it is used as an ordinary or main verb or as an auxiliary verb or helping verb. Now this book gives you perfect idea how you can read it as well as how you should write it down in positive, negative, interrogative forms of verb to be. Am should be used with I, and we can I am, and short form of I am is here. I am not. Or in interrogation, since this one is negative, I am not. And in interrogative, am I? In the same way, other forms are here. You in plural, its plural form is are. The plural form of we is are. Here we are can also come. This one is plural form, and this is the singular form. Are will be followed by plural subjects and second person singular subject you. For example, you are, we are, they are, people are, the police are. Now here you can understand the fact that are is the form for the plural subjects, is the form for the singular subjects, am is the form for the personal pronoun first person singular number I. So am will be followed by I, we are will be followed by plural subjects and second person singular subject, and is will be followed by any third person singular number subject. Okay, now you can study it in the book and understand. Here in the negative we can use different short forms also. We are not, we aren't. He is not, he isn't. You are not, you aren't. In negative interrogative forms, are you not, aren't you? Is he not, isn't he? The short form of am is am I not. Here one thing is very much important to understand. There is no form like amn't. Okay. So when am I not will be called aren't I or ain't I. What it will be called? Aren't I or ain't I. Am I not means aren't I or ain't I. Am I not tall? Aren't I tall? Ain't I tall? These are the uses of verb to be. I am again telling you that verb to be have 5 forms, 3 forms, and these are used in the present tense, and 2 forms was and were are used in the past tense. And these can be used as helping verb and a main verb also, as a main verb also. I have made it clearly, and perhaps you have understood. I think all of you can understand it by checking these 2 examples in the first paragraph of the chapter. Okay? Virat Kohli is a brilliant batsman, and Virat Kohli is leading the test. Is in the first sentence is main verb, is in the second sentence is as helping verb for tense. Okay. Now we are going ahead. Verb to have. Verb to have has 2 forms in the present. One is have, second one is has. Has, it will be followed by the singular subjects. In the have will be followed by the plural subjects. And these can also be used as main verbs. The main verb forms of have will be have, having, has. This is the 5 different forms as main verb for verb to have. As main verb, it shows possession. Have shows possession. For example, I have a pen. I have a pen. This means I possess a pen. So there its meaning is to possess something. Now, like we, have can also be used in 2 ways, as an ordinary verb and as an auxiliary verb to make other tenses. When it is used as an ordinary verb, it expresses possession, what I have said. My father has 2 cars. Here, has is not followed by any other verb forms, so it is used as main verb. My father has 2 cars. This means my father possesses 2 cars. And in second sentence, my father has purchased a new car. Here purchasing, verb to purchase, has been followed by has. So this has of the second sentence is a helping verb and helping the verb to purchase to form a new tense of present perfect here. So there is no problem to understand. The same box has been done with have form. I have, you can write I have in the contracted form also. I have no, I have no, I haven't any. And in interrogative, have I? Now we have no, we haven't any, or we have not. In this way you can read each and every example given here and check. Number 1, in the negative we can use different short forms also. In negative we can use different short forms also. Now what the short forms are? We have no books. We have no books. The 3 forms of the same meaning is we haven't any books. You know that in negative sentences any can be used. So we haven't any books. We don't have any books. But the third one, we don't have any books, is the more common and mostly used sentence in this sense. And that is very good, very easy also, and you can use it. You should use it, I think. We don't have any books. He doesn't have any money. In this way, these are very much popular and common in use. In questions can be formed in 2 ways. Have you any books, or do you have any books? Have you any books is not so much common. The most common is, do you have any books? So people like to use this sentence in plenty. So I think that it will be better for you to have the, do you have any books? Does she have some money? These are good sentences. And you can use this one also, have you any books, or has she some money? And in third negative interrogative forms are, have I not, haven't I, or don't I have? Don't I have will be common use in the same way. So now simple present tense. We are going for simple present tense, that is the 4 types of present tenses are here. Simple present is used for the habitual actions, for the scientific facts, for the universal truths, and so on. So we are going for simple present tense, and forms of simple present tense, it is verb to do, and it has do and does in present tense. Now do is plural and does is singular. Both are present forms. So do is plural and does is singular. So we should use it accordingly. With plural subjects we should use do. With singular subjects we should do does. Use does. But keep it in your mind that in first person I and you, I will be followed by do. I do not go. I don't go. But if she doesn't go, she does not go. She doesn't go, or she does not go. Now, this is also used as both the verb forms, as main verb and as well as helping verb. So, when they will come with main verb, they will come as a main verb. They don't will have any other verb in after them. So I would like to tell you one thing here. Time has passed, and now your duty is to solve exercise 1 and exercise 2, that is on page number 78-79 from your book Essentials of English Grammar and Composition. Up to here we are stopping today. In the next class we will go ahead to finish these all. Thanks for watching.